Good morning and welcome back to Tips from the Home Office. I'm this morning, I just wanted to tell you a quick story. Back in 2000, I don't know, it's like before 2000, excuse me. Um, Back in 9/11, that's what I was trying to say, 9/11, I was sitting in my office at on Wilson Boulevard in Washington, D.C., just a few miles from the Pentagon, when the Pentagon was hit by an airplane. As you all know, what unfolded from there is that everybody was extremely um, concerned, and we kind of had a lockdown, sort of like we're having now here in Houston. This is sort of reminding me of that time. We were locked down into our areas. We were allowed to leave our houses, but we were locked down into our areas. And there was a cordoned off area all around where the Pentagon was, where cars and traffic, nobody could come in or out. So if you were in that area, you were trapped in that area. So I worked and lived in that area. So that was helpful for me because I just walked home. But when I sat at in my house and I was watching the television coverage, my background is really public relations, and I've done a lot of crisis communication. I had been all around the country at that point, teaching people how to deal with a crisis. I'd worked for the Manufactured Housing Institute, and I taught local people how to deal with any kind of crisis that would occur around a manufactured home community or manufactured housing, which sometimes, these things do happen. So I was sitting there thinking, why am I sitting here with this skill set and just watching television? So that was really my thought at that moment, was like, I have this skill set that I'm not using. So I did end up going out. We actually went to, a friend of mine was with me. She could not get out either. She was working in this area, but she lived a little bit further out. So she stayed with me that day. And she and I went over to the hospital to give blood, and they didn't want our blood. They just said that we needed to maybe go down to the Red Cross because they were looking for volunteers. So we went on over to the Red Cross, and all of their volunteers had been shut out of the area because they couldn't come in through their cars. So we went in and we started to help, and we helped that day. A lot of the stuff that I did was just pick up the phone and call all the local grocery stores. And we went around to all the local grocery stores and picked up food that they donated, that we put together for the first responders and the families waiting for information about their loved ones. So I pivoted what I was doing to be of use to the community. And so that's kind of the thing I want to talk about today. I want to talk about how you can think of ways during this time to pivot what you have inside of you already, the knowledge, the expertise, everything you know, everything you do to help your community to thrive during this time. So this is sort of why I'm coming on every morning too. I just want to share some of the things that I've learned over the years as I've done this myself. But in the last 24 hours or so, I've gotten on the phone with several different people, just kind of, picking my brain, if you want to say that, to find out ways that they can change what they're doing and make a living online in some ways during this time. And also just people that are looking for ways to give back, and like, what should the messaging be and how far should you go? And is there an overwhelm of tips, things like that. So I think that that's something that we can all look at too. Like, what is it that we have that we can give? So definitely tell me who you are in the comments. Let me know that you're here or that you're watching this later in replay. But really, how are you going to pivot during this time? So I'm going to give you a couple of examples. I've kind of pulled them here. So we work Zoetica Media, which is my agency. We work with the healthcare industry and nonprofits, and also with travel and tourism. So travel and tourism obviously has taken a huge hit. So we're right now looking at all the ways that we can message inside of travel and tourism, because obviously we can't tell people to come travel somewhere right now. And so how do we do that? So we're really thinking about the pivoting points for that for our clients there. And really there we're talking about, what can you do inside your house, taking walks, those kinds of things that are really important right now for mental health. Also, interestingly enough, people are planning their next vacation now, or they're looking out into the world at what they want to do later after this all ends. So that's kind of interesting. People are dreaming a little bit at home. I know that because I heard from a blogger that her pins are doing really well on Pinterest, her travel pins. So that's interesting to me because that means people are looking at travel, which is kind of interesting. So I would love to hear from you guys out there. If you're thinking like that, are you thinking about travel? I mean, right now we're thinking about how to cancel all of our travel. So let me know in the comments if you've been kind of dreaming about travel. That'd be cool to know. So anyway, that's number one. And then number two, for the healthcare side, obviously we are in 100% on mode right now. So pretty busy. My team is amazing and they're doing a great job. A lot is going on right now. So those are messages about how people can find healthcare, get healthcare, how they can do it efficiently, how we can have the safety of both the healthcare professional and the person. So we're really in full swing on that. And then the third thing that I work with a lot is nonprofits. Right now that's kind of light, so I'm not doing a ton around that, but I think right now is a really good time for nonprofits to think about ways that they can bring their expertise to the community, because that is definitely something the nonprofit does. So, also, I was talking, my gym closed down like everybody's gym. So we've been trying to figure out ways. I have a small group that we work out with at my gym. I pay for that. I have a trainer. And the way that it's working is that the trainers in my gym anyway are still on their healthcare, which is awesome. They're being furloughed, but they are definitely not able to do any training. So they can't do any extra training. Like we can't pay our trainers right now, like to do online training with us, because that would be, a breach of their contract. So we're not going to do that. So I jumped on the phone with her, and what we talked about was how could she, pivot. And she's been already thinking anyway about offering something she calls intuitive eating training for people for healthcare and eating. And so this would be a really great time while she has some time on her hands to launch that part of her business that she's been wanting to do. So I actually came up with a list of tools and stuff that she could use right away to launch a small business right now for almost free, or very close to that, if not free. So I may actually share this, and maybe tomorrow I'll share that. I'll share the quick method for building your business for free immediately online. I think that would be helpful for some of you. So anyway, hey, Kyle. So Kyle says his wife and I are definitely looking at travel. We've already planned our anniversary trip to Myrtle Beach in May. Wow. Okay. So like I said, people are looking at travel. I think that's really interesting. So that's something to think about if you're in travel and tourism, people. And if anybody else is, please let me know, because a lot of my clients are very scared of what to do next with this. So let's just think about a couple of things. So pivoting is really important. And I don't know about you, but in times like this, when everything changes, I get extremely creative. It gets your creative juices going because you're out of your normal routine, or it can. And so one of the things that I've been thinking about is give me a challenge. Give me a challenge of a career or a type of a thing that you think would never go online. You could never do it online. And let's think of ways to make it go online. Hi, Margaret. It's good to see you. Hi. Anyway, so let's think about what those things would be. So one of the things I think you could think of right away would be consignment or thrift stores. How do you do a thrift store online? That's not possible. Well, just go to threadup.com and you'll see exactly how it's done. So somebody else has already done this. They've taken the whole concept of thrift store and put it online. Really, really cool. I've actually ordered some stuff off of there, maybe even a year ago. So they've been up for a while. So check that out. So if you do have a retail location, what percentage of your stock can you put online? What can you put online? Take some photos of it, put it up. There's some really great tools out there, which I don't have in front of me right now, but they exist already. So you can just Google, selling storefronts, so putting together a storefront. Etsy is one, for example. I know a lot of people you can be up and running on Etsy in no time whatsoever. So Etsy would be one. You can do that. So think about ways that you can start doing that. Because I think that online ordering of goods is just going to explode in the next 3 months, because everybody's at home and we can't get anything. And going to the store is kind of scary because it's going to a petri dish. I had to tell my daughter that she couldn't go with us and my kids, they all love to go to the store with us sometimes. And I just put a kibosh on it. Only my husband is going to the store. And that's it. Nobody else. We are just going in, we're getting what we need if we can find it, and then we're getting out. In fact, he's there right now. So, that's really where we're at. So, Yes, I agree with you, Kyle. I think Kyle just said, I'm gonna actually put his thing up here because I think it's really important. He said, I can say the reason behind our planning our travel has been driven directly by being stuck in one place all the time. Think about that, guys. This is a pain point for all of us. We are going to be stir crazy in these houses in the next month or two. So think this thing, honestly, hi, Walter, this thing could honestly go on for 3 months and beyond. I'm looking at all the modeling. And of course, because I do healthcare, unfortunately, probably I'm looking at the worst case scenarios, right? So I'm looking at modeling and actually I can pull it up. But today they showed that, the hospital beds are going to be lacking, even if we have the most conservative estimate here in Houston, and we have like a medical center with lots of hospital beds. So it depends on where you live, but that's going to become a real issue. So the more people stay inside, the better for everyone. We're going to be able to survive this as very well with that, and we don't want to overwhelm the medical system, and that's really where we're at. We're going to overwhelm the medical system on the current the current trajectory. Can I say that? So how can we in our houses expand our minds, do stuff, keep ourselves busy in a way that is positive and exciting? So that's why I'm talking about pivoting. How can you pivot what you do to be online? I know a lot of you have already pivoted to sort of start being online, bringing your workforce online. I know if you have a really huge company, part of that problem is going to be computer load. So one of the things I've noticed right away, I don't know about you guys, is that my entire household is using streaming and all at once. And so we're going to probably need to up our overall cable throughputs or your uploads and downloads. So I'm going to probably call the cable company today and just go to the next level. So yay for cable companies. But, we also had a power outage last week. Is that because the equipment it could have been just happenstance, but we've had 2 in the last 2 weeks. So I'm wondering, with everybody coming home and all the power loading moving out to the suburbs, I'm wondering if the power companies are not having to change their balance, their load balances, and move the power out. So really interesting things to think about as you go forward, because we create problems as we make them. So again, I was going to give you some ideas of ways to pivot. So thrift stores, like I said, ThredUp, look at it. They have ThredUp online. Local restaurants. So we have our monthly social media breakfast of Houston at in the Heights at Alice Blue. And Alice Blue used to be also she also owns Canopy. She closed Canopy, so we moved to Alice Blue, which is her other restaurant. But of course, right now restaurants are completely closed. You can't go. So what they've done is they've started doing curbside pickup, and she's not the only one. I've gotten lots of emails from restaurants around the area that do that. So she's doing curbside pickup and delivery within 3 miles, so she can then keep one of her employees employed delivering. Now they have to have some careful ways of doing that, leave it on the door. There's got to be some stuff that goes into place so you protect your workers as well as the people being delivered to. So I like the idea of delivery. Have any of you used delivery yet from a restaurant or done a pickup yet during this time? I want to know, because right now would be a really great time to support a restaurant. I'm not sure how much longer they're going to be able to do it, to be honest. But if you do that now, it'd be great for them so that they can survive this. But I do like that idea of what about if you are a restaurant and you do have suppliers and you can get stuff, why can't you then bag up fresh foods, like put together a fresh food kind of bag and with recipes and put it in there so people can kind of make their own food? That would be another way to go, especially if you have suppliers. I mean, you can't get eggs, you can't get milk. Well, maybe you can. So can you help other people get those things? Yeah, support local, support small business. I'm going to put that up there. Yes, because I really feel like right now they're going to hurt the most. And I know that there's a package coming from the government and there's going to be money to be had. I get that. But right now it's really rough. So again, the gym, my gym, I told you my trainer can't do it. Hey, Sandy, you're in Savannah. Hi, how are you doing, girl? It's funny too, because we have It's nice to see you in Savannah. Sandy also started a social media breakfast in Savannah. So that's another thing we're doing for social media breakfast. We're pivoting. Last month we were online, but guess what? It wasn't that hard because I've always live streamed the event. So now I can just go online and make that happen. Okay, yeah. So Margaret said pizza delivery and dinner and diner pickup. Oh, good. Excellent. That's awesome. So, and I know a lot of people are also getting meals from schools too, the ones that are like, kind of suffering from not having that. And some of what people were saying in the school lines as they waited for the food is that they probably can afford food, but they can't get it from the grocery store. It's really hard right now to get certain things from the grocery store. So it's great that those things are happening. Um, oh, cool. So yeah. So Sandy said she started a watch party in her social media breakfast group, but you couldn't see my comments. Oh, okay. Yeah. Sorry about that. Yeah. It's hard. I'm using StreamYard. So let's talk about tools. So this is a great tool. This is called StreamYard. It's not that expensive. You can do it for free too. It would have a little duck in the corner here. I'll show you what the brand looks like if you don't pay for it. It would do that. And then you have it for free. So if you can handle the little StreamYard logo in the corner, then you can do that. So what's great about this is that I can actually stream out to my pages because I'm using the paid version. I'm streaming to 5 places. I'm doing it to 3 different Facebook groups or through Facebook pages, YouTube, and LinkedIn. So I'm able to kind of hit everybody at once, wherever you might be watching. So I'm assuming most of you watch from Facebook because that seems to be the place most people will watch streams from, but I like these going to YouTube. So I love that you guys are here. So tell me some ways that you're pivoting. I think Sandy just gave me one. Let me see. And she was, oh, yes. So Sandy, here you go. Let's talk about that. So she said she was organizing an online advanced directive workshop and obviously it got canceled. So now she's thinking of how to do it online. So let's talk about that. I think that bringing some of these trainings and things like that online is really, really powerful. I've done a lot of online training for years, just using Zoom or using Zoom is really good because Zoom is free. So you guys can go out and get a Zoom account today. And in fact, Zoom is also offering that for teachers and stuff. So Zoom is really pushing right now and hopefully building capacity. But Zoom is an awesome way to go because you can just get that put together where you can sit with them. So I can actually have some people come on here. So you can actually use StreamYard in that way too, if they do it from the back end. But Zoom is awesome for that. And if you do the paid version, I think you can also have them dial in through a phone if they don't feel comfortable in video. I know a lot of people, this is going to be interesting to see how we can get people comfortable with video. And hi, Sandra, how are you doing? How's it going in your world today? I know that you must be crazy with all the media stuff you need to do. I should have you on, Sandra, on one of the mornings just to talk about like how to work with the media during a time like this. Do you want to do that? Anyway, I'm inviting her to come in. And so maybe that'd be good. So I don't know. I would say, Zoom is a really good way to do your online training. It's a great way to pivot. We actually have been doing online trainings for agencies. So we started this kind of early, like a little bit last year. So I'm building an online course called Smart Social Secrets, and it actually takes you through how to set your strategy, how to find your people online, how to build that community, how to create the content to feed that community, and then at the end, how to measure it, know it's working, and move it forward. Well, we had 2 agencies step forward and take this training from us, and we live in the same city, but we still do it online. So we've been doing it through another tool that I have called Blue Jeans, which is Zoom-like. So that's what the one I use. It's called Blue Jeans. But I like Blue Jeans a lot for a lot of reasons. And what's really cool about it is that, especially if you have the paid versions, you can actually put people into rooms. So like if you have a group of people that are watching, you can then break them into breakout groups, into smaller groups so that they can share with each other. And then you can bring them back to share. It's a really, really powerful thing to do if you're doing a kind of a group training online and you need to pivot that onto this platform. So there's some really cool ways to manage that. Oh, Smart Social Secrets available. So Sandy, my Smart Social Secrets is going to be available. I mean, May 4th was my launch date. We're going to have to see how that looks, but I think that's probably it. May 4th is going to be when it's available to everyone. So I'll talk to you more about that as it gets closer. I'm really excited about it. It's completely built. We have, I just have to do these videos here because I did all of the training with the agencies live. So I'm going to take those and break them into little videos. So I'm going to be working on that during this time, to be honest, just getting that stuff done. I actually have it in my calendar to start working on the videos next week. So very exciting. Anyway, yeah, breakout rooms are very cool indeed. I agree with you, Walter. So I think that those are the kinds of things we can do. Speaking. Okay, so let me talk about that. Since everything is canceled, I have a lot of friends who are speakers and they're doing a bunch of different things. So one of them, he talks about, since he makes all of his money from like keynote speeches, like he shows up, he like does big speeches. And so what he's going to do with this time off is write his next book. So he's written several already. And so he's probably got a deadline. He's got some deadlines. And so he's going to like just plow into writing the book. Me during this time, I'm going to be continuing what I always do, but this is, I just am going to be out here. I'm going to be helping people. I'm going to be using what I have to help people. I'm really fortunate that I have great clients that haven't canceled and we have money coming in. So I'm just here to be helpful. What is your shtick? Excuse me. What are you going to do during this time? What is it that you're going to do? And it can be even internal, like coming inside of yourself or doing some training or getting some information or getting ready for things. I mean, this is a hatching time, guys. There's some awesome opportunities here for us if we take them. So the matter is like, how can you take what you're great at out of your head and help somebody with it right now? Or how can you hatch something over the next 3 months that's going to be ready when people are ready to have it? So let's see. What platform? Oh, Sandy asked, what platform did I end up using for my online course? Okay, so that is a good question. Two different things we did. We have it actually built on the back end of zoetica media.com for our agency clients, and we've kind of built it there. Katie did that for us. My teammate, Katie Moreno, is an excellent web designer. So she put that together for me. But I have Kajabi for the bigger course because that's going to be able to take payments and do all those things that honestly, I don't want to have to build out in the back end of Zoetica Media. So Kajabi, we're using Kajabi. I may even have like I've got to find it, but I've got a link for that somewhere so I can send it to you if you want a referral link. So if anybody wants a referral link to Kajabi, let me know. I'll definitely send it to you directly. Anyway, so yeah, that's basically where we're at. We're coming up to the half hour. So is there anything else anybody's doing that you guys want to do? Oh, Sandy says her theme, you're not alone despite social distancing. Oh, that's good. I like that. And yeah. And a community member's letting you use her Zoom account. That's awesome, Sandy. I think, especially when you're building an online community, it's great to get the help of the people in the community. So if you're working to build a community around your brand, one of the biggest tips that I usually have is, involve the people in building the community because they're going to make it much stronger than it would be without it. So I'm really excited to see you all here. I'm going to be here every day on the weekdays. So on the weekends, I've always had a parameter around the weekends for my family, and I'm going to keep that parameter in place. We're going to have the weekends free to totally focus on my family. But during the weekdays, every day at 8 o'clock, I may have to switch it around a little bit if there's anything with the medical stuff, our medical client. I may have to. But right now, it seems like 8 o'clock's working great. I'll be here every day with a new little topic around making the best of this time, people. Let's make the best of this time. If there's anything you want me to cover, anybody you want me to have on, I do have somebody coming on from LinkedIn in a couple of weeks. She runs the LinkedIn community stuff. So I'm going to have her on. So I'm going to start bringing in some guests in the next couple of weeks. Let me know who you want to hear from or what you're struggling with, and I'll try to get those people on here. So anyway, I'll talk to you guys soon. And thank you. Have a great day and pivot. Take care. Bye.